Welcome back, guys. In today's video, we'll be learning how to multiply binary numbers. Let's get right into it. Multiplication of binary numbers can be done in two ways. Now, the first method is to multiply directly. To do that, I'm going to write out the numbers 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 in base 2. We multiply by 1, 0 in base 2. I'm going to put the multiplication sign here. We're going to perform this multiplication in the same way we multiply our ordinary numbers in base 10. Start with the first number here. 0 times 1 will give us 0. 0 times 0 will give us 0. 0 times 1 will give us 0. 0 times 0 will give us 0. And 0 times 1 will give us 0. We finish multiplying all the first number by 0. So we're going to go ahead and use 1 to multiply the first number, just like we'll do when we're multiplying our everyday numbers in base 10. But as we start to multiply by 1, we're going to be writing the result here directly under the 1. So 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times 0 will give us 0. 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times 0 will give us 0. And 1 times 1 will give us 1. And now that we're finished with the multiplication, the next thing we're going to do will be to add. So this is going to be 0. 0 plus 1 will give us 1. 0 plus 0 will give us 0. 0 plus 1 will give us 1. 0 plus 0 will give us 0. And then we bring down this 1 and add our base 2. And that's our results. For the second example here, we're going to do the same thing. But this time around, we have 5 digits multiplying by 3 digits. So I'm going to write out the numbers 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. We're going to multiply that by 1, 0, 1. And of course, they are both in base 2. So we are going to perform this multiplication just like we will do our regular multiplication. We begin with the first digit here, and we're going to multiply through the first number. 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times 0, 0. 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times 1 will give us 1. And 1 times 1 will give us 1 again. Next, we're going to multiply by 0. You know that anything multiplied by 0 will become 0 as well. So 0 times 1 will have 0. Notice that we are writing the result of this multiplication under 0, not under 1. So 0 times 1 will give us 0. 0 times 0 will give us 0. 0 times 1 will give us 0. 0 times 1 will give us 0. 0 times 1 will give us 0. Now we're going to multiply again by 1. And we're going to be writing the result underneath 1 here. So 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times 0 will give us 0. 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times 1 will give us 1. And then 1 times 1 will give us 1. And now that we're finished with the multiplication, we are going to add. We're going to bring down this 1 because there's no number here to multiply it. So this 1 comes down. 0 plus 0 will give us 0. 1 plus 1. You know that if you add 1 plus 1, you're going to get 2. But because we are dealing with binary, we know we can't have 2 in binary. Now, if you don't already know how to perform addition of numbers in base 2, do well to check out our video on that so that you can have a full understanding. We're just going to quickly tackle this. I'm going to do that over here. We know that 1 plus 1 will give us 2, but we know we can't write 2 in binary. So if I convert this to to base 2, I'm going to have 1, 0. So I'll write the 0 and I'll carry the 1. So I'm going to have 0 here, and then I'll carry 1. 1 plus 1 again will give me 2. So I'm going to perform the same process. I'll get 1, 0. So I'll write 0, and then I'll carry 1. In this instance, I have 1 plus 1, which will give me 2, plus 0, still 2, but plus 1 will give us 3. And you know we can't write 3 here because 3 is not a binary number. It's not a number we use in base 2. So I'm going to do the same thing I did here, and I'm going to convert my 3 to base 2. And when I convert 3 to base 2, I'm going to get 1, 1. Again, if you don't know how to perform conversion from base 10 to base 2, we also have a video on that. Please do well to check it out. So I'm going to write 1 and carry 1. So I'll write 1 here and I'll carry 1. 1 plus 1 will give me 2. Come back to my conversion here. So I'm going to write 0 and carry 1. 1 plus 1 again will give me 2. And 2 here, we already know is equivalent to 1 and 0. So since there's no other digit to the left for us to do a carry, I'm just going to write 0 and 1. And of course, indicate base 2. So this is our answer in base 2. Now, like I said, we have two methods of performing this multiplication. This is the first method I've just used, which is to perform the multiplication directly in base 2. The second option that we have is to do a conversion from base 2 to base 10. That is, we'll convert each of these numbers from base 2 to base 10. We will perform our multiplication in base 10 and then convert our answer back to base 2. So this is the second example, the one we just solved, and we are going to do that. Now we have a video also on conversion from base 2 to base 10. So if you are not already familiar with how to do the conversion, do well to check out that video. So I'm going to write this first digit here. We have 1, 1, 1, 0, 1 in base 2. I'm going to be indicating the power because we already know that every place value here is the power of the base in this case being 2, and that this power always increase in this direction. So I'm going to start from here. This is going to be 0, this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, and this will be 4. So I'm going to expand this so I can do the conversion. I'm just going to start writing down here so I can fit everything on one line. So this is going to be 1 times 2 raised to the power of 4. So that's the first digit here multiplied by the base raised to the power that we have written above it, plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 3, plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 2, plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1. That's this, 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1. And then we're also going to have 1 times 2 raised to the power of 0. Next thing we are going to solve for the powers. We have 1 times 2 raised to the power of 4 will give us 16. That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which will give us 16. Next, we're going to have 1 times 2 raised to the power of 3 will give us 8, plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 2 will give us 4, plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1 will give us 2, plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 0 will give us 1. Remember that anything raised to the power of 0 will be equals to 1. Next, we are going to multiply. 1 times 16 give us 16, plus 1 times 8 will give us 8. 1 times 4 will give us 4, plus 0 times 2 will give us 0, and then 1 times 1 will give us 1. We're going to go ahead and we'll add this. 16 plus 8 will be 24, plus 4 will be 28, and then plus 1 will give us 29. So we have succeeded in converting the first number from base 2 to base 10. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the second number. We have 1, 0, 1 in base 2. We're going to go ahead and indicate the powers. We have 0, 1, and 2. So when I expand this, I will have 1 times 2 raised to the power of 2 plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1 plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 0. Going to solve for the powers now. We'll have 1 times 2 raised to the power of 2 will give us 4 plus 0 times 2 raised to the power of 1 will give us 2 plus 1 times 2 raised to the power of 0 will give us 1. Next, we are going to multiply. We have 1 times 4, which is 4, plus 0 times 2, which will give us 0. And then we have 1 times 1, which is equals to 1. And then when we add this, we're going to get our answer to be equals to 5. So now we have converted the second number as well. So what I'm going to say is that 1, 1, 1, 0, 1 in base 2 multiplied by 1, 0, 1 in base 2 is equal to 29 times 5. So when you go ahead and you multiply this, what you're going to get is 145. That's 29 times 5 to give us 145. But we can't leave our answer in base 10 because the question was given to us in base 2. So we have to convert 145 back to base 2. And then this is how we're going to do that. Remember that if you're not already used to this conversion, you can check out our video on conversion from base 10 to base 2. So we're going to do that by performing a repeated division of 145 by 2, and then we're going to be storing the remainder on the side. So we're going to divide this by 2. 145 divided by 2 is going to give us 72 remainder 1. Remember that I always encourage my students to perform this division on the side. If you know you cannot just do it straight up the way I've just done, it's very okay to go to the corner and just perform your division. The most important thing is that you're doing it correctly and you're getting the correct answer. Because if you get the wrong answer here, even if you proceed to do it correctly by dividing by 2, of course you're going to come up with the wrong answer. So let's continue. I'm going to divide by 2 again. 72 divided by 2 will give me 36 remainder 0. Just bear in mind that anytime it's an even number, your remainder is going to be 0. But if it's an odd number, your remainder is going to be 1. 36 divided by 2 will give me 18 remainder 0. 18 divided by 2 will give me 9 remainder 0. 9 divided by 2 will give me 4 remainder 1. 4 divided by 2 will give me 2 remainder 0. 2 divided by 2 will give me 1 remainder 0. And 1 divided by 2 will be 0 remainder 1. So we always stop when we have a 0. And anytime we get to 1 divided by 2, you're just going to say 0 remainder 1 because of course 1 cannot divide 2. And now you have to remember that we always write our final answer in this direction. I'm just going to use a short arrow to show you the direction. So you're going to write it from down to up. So I'm going to just try and write that now. 145 in base 2. And this is going to be equals to 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1 base 2. And that is our final answer. So that's it on our lesson on multiplication of binary numbers. We have two methods: multiplying directly or converting to base 10, performing your multiplication, and then converting your answer back to base 2. Feel free to use any method of your choice, whichever one you find easier to comprehend. As always, I've got a bit of classwork here for you to try. You can do this in your free time, and if you want your classwork to be looked at, to be graded, feel free to send it to the email on your screen, mathswithmrspeace@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to go over them and send you feedback and corrections where necessary. That's it on our lesson for today, guys. Please check out our next video on division of binary numbers. Thanks for watching. Do it to like our page, share, subscribe, and turn on our notification button so you will know when we upload a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.